Hello, I'm Mr. O, here to talk to you today about the nonogram puzzle. So I'm going to introduce the puzzle, show you how to do it, and give you some tips and tricks on how to solve these puzzles. So stick with me here, and you'll know everything you need to know about the nonogram. The nonogram puzzle, it will have some numbers and letters on the side of the puzzle, and some numbers, not letters, sorry. It will have some numbers on the side and some numbers at the top of the puzzle. So let's begin. Here we have, let's see if I can do a couple of these for you. I'm not sure how well, hopefully you can see this pretty good at home. Maybe zoom in a little bit. There are some directions. Now, you may have this sheet with you, and you may have it printed out. I will definitely share it with you electronically. But if you don't, I will also show you a resource on the internet where you can try to practice some of these problems. So the idea, ladies and gentlemen, is you have numbers along the top and numbers along the side. These numbers represent how many of these boxes will be shaded. Okay, so in this column, you'll have three boxes that are shaded. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. These boxes have to be touching. So I can't have 1, 2, and then another one down here. If that were the case, you might have a 2 and a 1, and that would be the case in this one. So if I have a 2 and a 2, these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, cannot be touching. That would not be allowed. They would have to be separated by at least one space. Now, on bigger puzzles, when we did on the backside, for example, when we do the backside, you could have a 1 and a 3. It could be 1, and then 1, 2, 3, a bunch of spaces, and then 1, 2, 3 over here. Or it could be 1 starts here, and then a space, and then 1, 2, 3. So they just have to be separated by at least one square. Could be more than one, but they have to separate it by at least one. Now, if you have a number like a 4 here in the vertical, that 4 does not have to start at the top. The 4 could start here at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it could also start here, 1, 2, 3, 4. The idea is that they all have to be together. So that's the basics of the rules. Now let me show you some tips and tricks on how to actually solve these things. Well, we have a 4. Let's start there, because bigger numbers are good clues. And hopefully you can see this all right. 4 means the number could start up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it could also start here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So with 4 being so large and only having 5 squares across, 3 of these boxes have to be taken up by the 4. This box, and this box all have to be shaded. Now the fourth one is still yet to be decided. It could be this top one, it could be the bottom one. We don't know, so we have to wait and find out. A 2 and a 2, this is a freebie because there's only 5 boxes. And if they have to be separated by at least 1, then it's going to have to be 1, 2, a space, and then 1, 2. That's the only way this is possible. Something else I didn't mention is that when you have a space and you know something is not there, then we would have put X. Okay, well you don't have to, but it's a good idea to put X to keep it so that you know that is a space we're not going to use. Notice on this far column, 1. This is a 1, and we have 1 square shaded already. So I'm going to put X's on all the rest of these because I know that I've already got my 1. There's no other shaded spots in that. Now, when you have a 2 and a 1, that means the 2 has to come on the left and the 1 has to be to the right. You cannot be 1 here and then 2 further down. Anytime you see an ordered set of numbers, and that would be true even with more than this, if we have a 1, and a 6, then the 1, and then somewhere else you need to have a 1, and then somewhere else you need to have 6. It has to be in that order, vertically. 1, 1, 6. It can't be 6 and then 1 and then 1. Those have to go in that order. Down here, well, you can't see that one. This one says 2, 1, 1. There has to be a 2 above a 1 above a 1. So it has to be in that order. So let's look. Let's see if we can complete this first one. 2 and 1, there's only one option here. 2 space 1. Because we used this last X, this is we know there's not a shaded box there. So the only thing left is a 2, a space, and a 1. Now, this has to be a space. This one has to be a 2, and there's only 2 up here. There's not 2 down here. So if you know that something can't fit, then put an X. For example, 2 vertically, we can't fit 2 down here. And again, because it's a 2, we cannot split it up. So this would be X, which means our 2 are 1 and 2. Now I want to show you another. This is one of your first tips and tricks. If there's something that's unreachable, put an X. Here's an example. 3, we have 1, 2. Now our third one could be here. Our third one could be here. But our third one is certainly not able to get up to here. So we have 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, but not here for sure. So we could put an X here. We know there's nothing there. So, and by the way, this 1 horizontally is completely done anyway. All right, so we know our 4 because there's an X there. These all have to be 4. And we know this 3 because, well, let's wait. 2, we know 2. Horizontally, I know 2 can't be here because there's 1 here already, and they have to be together. So this would have to go here. We shade here for the 2. So our 2 is done. 2, 1, done. 2, 2, done. 3. All right, well this 3, and all I'm doing is I'm looking left and right, and I'm looking up and down. So if I'm wondering if it's here or if it's here, I look up. 1, 2, 3 in that vertical column means there's an X here. Also, 1, 2, 3 in this vertical column, 1, 2, 3 would have to be here. And that is your first, ladies and gentlemen, of your nonograms puzzle. So you got 1, 2, 3 straight across, and we're all set. We did it. Let's try another one. I'll try to give you some tips and tricks here. I'll do it here. All right, a 1, 1, 1 is a freebie, and when there's only 5 boxes across, 1 blank 1 blank 1. That's a freebie. There's only one way that can go. But let me give you some other tips and tricks while I'm here, because you won't always have something that simple. For example, a 3. Anytime you have a number that stretches more than halfway, this is a 5 by 5. Okay, and if that's a 5 by 5, then 3 is more than halfway. So we know this 3 is going to go to the center and beyond. So if the 3 goes here, 1, 2, 3, it could start at the far left. It could go 1, 2, 3. It could go 1, 2, 3 in the middle, or it could go 1, 2, 3 on the right-hand side. But what you notice is every single time you had to use this square for the 3. There's no way around it. That 3 has to use that middle square. Okay? Which helps us tremendously because look at the 4 now. If you're right up against the side, the 4 can only go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I know this is an X, then I can that can help me later on. We already know this 1 space 1 space 1. And what else do we know? Well, this 2 cannot possibly fit down here. Notice the 2 vertically. So all I'm doing is my eyes are just scanning left and right, up and down, okay? Like I know this 3, we know some things about that, but we know for sure this 2 could not possibly fit down here. We can't fit 2 down there. So we put an X. Now we have a situation with only 3 boxes left. The 2 has to use this box, doesn't it? If it's 1, 2 or 1, 2, this box in the middle must be used. There's another option. So this the 2 is either going to go down here or up here. What I also notice, vertically, look at this 3. Could the 3 go down 1? Yeah. Could it go down 2? No. What does that mean? It means that this box will have to be used above it. At least this box. Because you can't fit a 3 only going down. 1, 2, 3. It will go off the puzzle. So we have to use this one. We have to use this box because, again, we have only room to go down 1. And if there's going to have to be 3 altogether, it can't be up here because that would be separated. We can go down 1, but we have to go down up at least 1. So our last 3 could be here or it could be down here. Now let's look at it. 3 horizontally. Could we put one of those boxes here horizontally? No. Yeah, I heard you loud and clear. So this is going to be X because it can't fit. Then this is going to be shaded, and this is going to be shaded because our 3 is done. All right, these ones are done. 1, 1, 1, 1. 3 here, where's the last one going to be? Right, we got 1, 2, where's the last one going to be? If you said here or here, you probably weren't thinking about this box. This is where it goes. This is where it goes. 1, 2, 3, and this will be an X, and this will be an X. Remember, they have to all be touching. If you have a number, single number, they all have to be touching. All right, so we have in this one, we have a 1, 2. The 2 is at the bottom. We got it. Now we need one more up here. This 3, by the way, how about this one vertically? This would be a good one. 1 straight down. We've already got our 1, don't we? So this has to be an X, and this has to be an X, which means our 3 is now blocked off. It cannot go to the end. We have to shade here. This one would have to be here because in our far right column, 1, 2, we needed a 1 up there, and we needed a 1 in this column. So we have everything completely done, and we have solved our second puzzle. Now the next thing we're going to do, the next one we're going to do is at the bottom of that same puzzle, same sheet. So if you're looking at this sheet at home, excellent, wonderful, terrific. If not, I'll show you again. I'll show you a resource online that you can use. But this is the bottom of the same sheet, the introduction to nonograms. And in this one, we have a little bit trickier here, so I just want to show you. Now, a 1, 3 is a freebie. Because there's only 5 boxes, you need to have at least one space in between. So 1... Remember the one has to be on the left, the 3 on the right, and then these 3 will have to go over here. So this, you're not allowed to do 3 and then 1 left to right because the order of the numbers is important. 1 on the left, 3 on the right. So that's a freebie. And what we also know is this 3 has to include the middle one. We were talking about that in a different puzzle. So this 3 could be 1, 2, 3, could be 1, 2, 3, or it could be 1, 2, 3. So this one has to include the middle. And if that's the case, then check this out. 1, 2, could be 3 here, could be the third one here, but it certainly can't go here. So that 3 cannot reach up to there. All right. Notice the 2, vertically. This could go 1, 2, or 1, 2, but where can it not reach? Can't reach the top. And it can't reach the bottom, which is extremely helpful because then we look over here and we say, well, where's this 2 going to go? It's because many of my students get to here and they say, well, I know this 3. We have to use the middle one because we already talked about that, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It has to use the middle one. If you count from both sides and there's any overlap, that's your tip. Tips and tricks number 2. If you count from both sides and any of it overlaps, then that box would have to be shaded. So we know this. We know all this stuff. Here's where people would break down and say, well, I'm not sure about these 2. Well, I just told you, if I can reach up 1 or down 1, then these ones cannot be used. What does that mean for the 2? It can't fit in here anymore. So this 2 would have to be a X here and these 2 here, which not only is extremely helpful for these 3s, because they all have to go together, but this 2 vertically cannot go here. So they have to go down here. So that helps us quite a bit because our 1, horizontal 1 here is now done. These 3s are done vertically. So this 3 would be the last one. And this 3 is not needed. We don't need to do that because we got our 2 vertically and we're good to go. All right. I'll show you one more on the back here. As these get bigger, they get a little more challenging, but I just want to show you how you can use this rule I was talking about in the front. If you got a number that stretches more than half the way across, this is a 10 by 10 now. Now these lines are a little thicker, they're just for counting. So you got to picture it as 10 boxes this way, 10 boxes this way. Now if I have a 7, this number, then I'm just going to show you one quick thing and then we're going to move on to something else. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would stretch to here. If it started here, it would stretch all the way to here. This 7 starting this way would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in this situation, these 4 boxes in the middle must be used. They have to be used. There's no way around it. I can't build a 7 in here without using these 4 boxes. So those are a little bit of tricks, tips and tricks you can use. And you'll notice that how does that help you? Well, look at the 4 now. And there's a lot you can do because this is actually a freebie. 116 is a freebie. 1 blank 1 blank 6. You could do that. There's only one way to do that. But 4 here, I could stretch 1, 2, 3, 4. But we know this, and this cannot be reached. So when you know something, anything at all, one way, then that will help you with the other way. So if you know horizontal something, then vertically you can get something, and so on, and vice versa. Next, I'm going to show you how to find these puzzles online. So you can mess around with these online. You can try some of the puzzles and so on and so forth. So here we go. Let me try to zoom in a little bit too, so you can see a little better. But first of all, you have your website. This is the website you're going to go to. It is puzzle with a dash nonograms.com. puzzlenonograms.com. Actually, I don't know if you could see my mouse. Okay, I think I got it back now. So, what I have here, let's start a new puzzle. This is Nonograms. Here's your website, puzzlenonograms.com, and type that in. You can get to this website, and then you have some choices along the side. You can choose what size you want down here, whether you want to start off with a 5x5, 10 by 10, 15 by 15, whatever size. Now, if you get really good at these nonograms, you can choose these daily specials and weekly specials and monthly specials. I also want to point out that there are other tutorials online. So if you weren't a fan of my video, you could try to check out someone else's video. I actually went and looked up what they got as far as nonograms. Looks like it's still loading. There's a playlist here. And there you go, a bunch of very robotic voice. So I wasn't sure if maybe my voice is robotic. Who knows? Anyway, let me show you real quick how to do it. They give you some rules on the side, and they even tell you how to use your left click, right click. If you're on a Mac, you can use left click as a control click, and you can put an X. Click is the fill in. If you click it twice, it'll be an X, and then if you click it 3 times, it goes away. So let's try one. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Too big. There we go. All right, so I see 2 by 2 here. I know that's going to have to be 2, and then a blank, and then 2. That's the only way that that's possible because there's only 5 boxes. Now, anytime I get something that's on the end, I know all of these because they have to start on the end. So the 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 1 vertically, so I know these could be all X's. And then if it's a 3, 1, 2, 3, and this would have to be an X because the 3 is done. This 4 is done, by the way. And this 2, it cannot fit here, and there's only 2 spaces left. And this 2, 1, because it's on the far right, 2, these would all have to be X's. And then we have a 1, a blank. Now, all we have to do now is look vertically and say, well, the 4 is done, the 3 is done, the 1 is done. The only one that needs one vertically is this spot right here. We click done, and there we have it. We have, congratulations, you solved the puzzle in 32 minutes and 33 seconds. So that's cool. I'm not sure why it's bouncing out of there. Okay. So so there you have it. What else? Yeah, there's your video tutorial there. What you'll do is likely, if you're not filling these out on worksheets, is you'll do a screenshot at that point. So and I have to look up what the screenshot is on the Chromebook. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's probably worth a Google. But on the Mac, you can do Command Shift and 4. Brings up these, and what I like to do is screenshot the time you spent on it, puzzle number, and the finished puzzle. All right, so you just save those. Create a little folder and save all these nonograms. But if this, if this puzzle is too easy for you, then you try harder. Try a bigger size. And those will be on the side. Nonograms, 20 by 20, 10 by 10. This video is just about over, but let me just jump in this 10 by 10 real quick. 9. See, I see a 9 vertical. So I know that it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's going to be, you're going to have to start from one side or the other. So what that means is 8 of these boxes will have to be shaded. Those will have to be shaded. Because how could I build a 9 without using those? The 9th one could be here, or it could be here, we're not sure. These 6s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which stretch to here. And if I started from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which stretch to there. So these 2 in the middle must be used for the 6. Same would be true with these 6s. Now I know this is a 4 and I know this is a 3, so I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and I have to have at least one x in between these. Now I know this 4 and this 1, so I can go through this row and put x's in all the other boxes. I know this 3 and this 1, so I could do the same. What else do we know? Well, 1 and 3. Do I have room for the 1 and the 3 up here above these x's? Think about that for a minute. Do I have room for a 1 and a 3 up here above the x's? The answer is no. You do not. 1 could fit up there. But if I had a 1 and a space, I couldn't possibly fit 3. What does that mean? That means 3 has to fit down here. And that means 2 of these 3 boxes have to be shaded. It could be 1, 2, 3. Could be 1, 2, 3. We're not sure. But we know these 2 for sure. All right, so that's just a way to get you started. I'm not sure why I got such a long time. Like I've started this puzzle before. Maybe I have. Who knows? Start a new puzzle. You could have 0 time. There you go. All right. What do we have? I'm happy to answer questions. If you have questions, you can send me emails, or you can try to chat me in the chat me through the email, whatever you use for email. And then the other option is to stop in for my office hours, and I can show you some stuff. So that's all for today. I'm going to probably send a second video with some more advanced tips and tricks, and you guys can have some go to town on these things. I think a lot of my students, this is one of their favorite puzzles, so I like to start with this one. And again, I hope it makes some sense. Click on that other YouTube tutorial, and I'll even put the if you're interested in watching that tutorial, I'll put the link to the playlist in Google Classroom or an email or something. So hope you all have a great day.